We have some really entrepreneurial docs in this hospital, and nurses, and everybody in this hospital is entrepreneurial, and we have to be entrepreneurial now to survive in the future, which means we got to think differently the way we do things, the way we bring in revenues, the way we try to keep people out of the hospital at the same time we're a hospital that takes care of people in the hospital. So we're going to figure all that out, and we're doing it, and we're doing it good. I always feel that challenges create opportunities. We have an opportunity to make more friends, solve more problems, and make long-term friends. So Mohan and I, as a result, has got to meet the director of the commission that sets the rates. We met her here in this hospital, and we're in trouble. I mean, you're not reimbursing us based on what we deserve. And I remember in that meeting, I think it was Mike Hill, myself, and Mo, she was giving all these statistics and everything, and I said to her, so let me ask you this. What would you do if you were in my place? I get a call from her at 7:30 in the morning. She said, I want you to know I heard what you said. And all weekend long, I'm thinking about it. I'm putting myself in your place. She said, you know, I'm a fact and figure person. I've got to have numbers to back it up. I know how important St. Joe's is. I know you need help. And we're going to do everything we can to work with you. But I've got to figure this myself. I've got to be able to sell this to the commission.
The entire organization, as Senator Kelly mentions, is rooted in a faith-based delivery system. You have to in life rise to the level of your competition if you want to compete and compete effectively, and I believe we are doing that. So when people have choice as to what emergency room are they going, people have choice who live in this community. We want our emergency room to be that solution. When people have choice about who's going to do their spine surgery, or who's going to do their heart surgery, or where is their cancer going to be managed, where are they going to deliver the baby, we want them to make an active decision to choose St. Joe's. What matters is that we get in the room and have a conversation about what this new reimbursement system in the state of Maryland is challenging us to do. And one of the things it is challenging us to do that I believe will make us a better organization is, as hospitals are used to thinking about a patient from the time they walk in the door to the time they leave, and to maximizing that patient experience. And I would argue St. Joe's, we're really good at that. And one of the fundamental strengths of this organization that hasn't been mentioned yet, but I know anybody who has had any level of care at St. Joe's knows, is an unbelievable nursing staff. Not just a good one, not just a great one, an unbelievable differentiating nursing group here. I love to say that at St. Joe's, when we meet people for the first time, and they had their experience at St. Joe's, and they say, oh, how can we help? I say, tell somebody. Become an ambassador for what's going on here. Because nothing works better, especially in a town like Baltimore, than word of mouth, right? Nothing works better. And I see Fred Eisenbrand sitting here, and for those of you, hopefully, who got a chance to read the Baltimore Sun a couple days ago, Fred wrote an editorial to the Sun. Now, I have to admit to you that the Baltimore Sun, when I say that here at St. Joe's, I still have many people in the organization who flinch because of some of the recent past, last decade. But the truth is, the Sun, I will argue, since Maryland and St. Joe's have come together, has been very fair to this organization. They have reported as they're responsible to report, but they have also been willing to take a look at what has gone on here at St. Joe's. And Fred wrote an editorial about his sons and his family's experience here. And I think it helps crystallize what I am trying to describe to you about what is so special about St. Joe's. As the editorial describes, Fred's son has a rare illness, an illness that challenges his life on a daily basis. It is unusual that young people live past their 20s with this diagnosis, and Fred's son is in his early 30s, but he came to us incredibly sick. He spent 72 days in the intensive care unit. 72 days in the intensive care unit. He ultimately went home, and he went home, and yes, the people at St. Joe's did an amazing job, and Fred was so generous to have written this editorial that described their experience at St. Joe's. But an additional truth in that story is that he went home also as a consequence of the partnerships that we've been able to form